People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. All right, guys, we are back. And this week we have a legend in magic, showbiz history. This guy has so much cool things to show us. This is our second time trying to record this episode. I've got a taste of some of this stuff. I'm so excited to have him here. Everybody, it's Greg Wilson. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Howdy, howdy. Wow, what a pleasure it is to be here with y'all again.
You know what? We even rehearsed this, and I didn't do the introduction right. How about you introduce yourself?
Oh, we can sure try. Let's see. Clem, can you roll that video for us? Go ahead and take the camera.
Live in front of a studio audience and Greg's secret.
And now take, what is it, camera 6 on the top row?
There it is.
And then I'll turn my phone off.
Live in front of a studio audience and Greg's Secret Cabaret. It's the Greg Wilson Show.
Everything that you see here today in the audience are happening on your screen at home, happens right here in the studio, exactly as you see, before our live audience. We never use fixed top.
And now, your host, Greg Wilson.
Woo!
We got it. It works. Everything's great.
Awesome. I liked that. Oh, now we can't hear you.
I think he's playing with us. I hope he's playing with us.
I think he said no, he's not playing.
He's got so many. He's got 3 people behind the scenes. He's got 12 cameras hooked in.
There we go.
Got a green light.
We can hear you now.
I hear you.
I think I unplugged it.
Okay.
Welcome to live television, ladies and gentlemen.
You are the best, man. This is so funny. It's so fun. It's fun being with you, man. You know what? I listened to it was 3 years ago. I listened to the last podcast.
Was it really?
And I was just smiling ear to ear the whole time. It's so much fun to hang out with you. Golly. Thanks for doing this again.
I can't believe it's been 3 years.
It's crazy how time flies. So last time we talked mainly about your parents. I know you have stuff still going on with your parents and you know, with their legacy and everything. But we kind of talked a little bit about everything about Greg Wilson, right? So we talked about the El Capitan show, your show in Australia, and your other shows. I want to know more about those. Tell me about your El Capitan show with the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, thank you. Well, we actually ended up doing 3 different shows at the El Capitan. The Wizard of Oz, Oz the Great and Powerful was the first one, and that went so well they brought me back for Maleficent, which was a joy. That was my favorite show I've ever performed. And then the last one was for Tomorrowland, which was a blast because I got to revisit the New York World's Fair and all those themes of retro future stuff.
So did you use some of your dad's retro future illusions in that show?
I sure did, and I'll show you some in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So what about the Australia tour? How did that go? What was that about?
Australia was just for one show way back when. China was the big tour, I think, that you're thinking of. That we kind of touched on. It was the 17 cities in mainland China. That was a bear. We had all kinds of venues.
We do 400 shows a year, but I can't wrap my head around trying to get illusions to a foreign country.
Right.
What is that process like? I mean, do you have people that just you deal with that do that for a living, or is that all on you? How does that work?
Oh, shipping to a foreign country? I'm sure it's changed in recent years. It was carnet document was the thing that you had to generate to guarantee that everything you're taking out of the country you're going to bring back into the country. It's like posting a bond to get out of jail. So that's what we would do. The first big step is to make a list of everything that you're bringing. And you don't say swords. I call them magic sticks.
It's little things like that that mean the world to us.
Right,
It
exactly.
speeds things up. Yeah. 15 aluminum magic sticks.
That's worth the price of the whole podcast right
Yeah.
now. That's worth the price of admission.
Yeah, yeah.
A little touch.
Most of my shipping has always been in shipping containers. So the interesting thing, though, is when you ship to Japan, it costs less than when you ship home. So you have to budget yourself for. I budget twice for the return trip because you never know where it's going to go in the shipping rates.
Yeah.
Wow.
Goodness.
Wow.
I wonder why. Why does it cost more to get it home?
Because there's more products coming from Asia to America than the other way. So the
Oh.
ships are full. It's a premium.
Oh, okay, I see.
And that had nothing to do with tariffs. That was just
That was just old school shipping.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't imagine how much shipping is now. Because for the China tour, I shipped 2 40-foot containers, 2 trucks that were packed tight. And then we got there. The plan to tour China was to do as Alan Wakeling taught me when I was younger, when they did the Gray Bar tour, which was a whole nother whatever. They took a semi-truck and they built racks inside the trailer for the magic illusions. So when they finished the show, they just wheeled them out the stage door and plugged them into the truck, into its appropriate receptacles. So I thought, when we go to China, we'll have a nice big storage container or 2, and we'll fit it out with all the holders for every prop. We're in China. They got all kinds of everything there. We'll be able to build it there. Why not? Why spend the money in the States? And they said, oh, no. You've already got crates. We'll just put them on a truck. And so turns out it wasn't an enclosed truck. They moved my show around on an open flatbed truck in rain or whatever. And the scariest time that we moved the show was when we went from central China, Shanghai area on the coast, up the Yangtze River to the Sichuan province, to Chengdu and Chongqing. And they actually put the flatbed truck with the illusions on top and then drove that onto a Chinese ferry. And I don't know if they tied the truck down, but I was terrified that I was not going to have anything. It was all going to tip over and go into the Yangtze.
Wow.
man.
But it didn't. It got there fine.
Your blood pressure was raised, though, I'm sure.
Yes, the drinking increased.
So did your dad, I mean, there wasn't cell phones back then. Your dad didn't go with you on that trip.
No, that trip was more recent. That was 2003.
Okay.
Yeah. The one in
Golly.
1980 with Dad was entirely different. That was really rustic.
Yeah.
That was camping.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if you wrote to your dad and told your dad about your adventures, because back in 2003, you had email, right? I mean,
Yeah?
did you check in with him while you were gone?
2003.
Sure. Yeah, it was certainly with Mom. I'm alive.
Okay.
Don't worry. We're moving to the next city.
There you go.
They're showbiz folks. They'll know they get the full report when I come back.
I know, but when I was on the road, I called my mom every day. So I called my mom every day. Dad was like, yeah, talk to your mother. Yeah, so I get it. All right,
Well, when I was touring across the States, because I did that before this China thing, we did a lot of bus and truck tour around performing arts centers. And I would call my grandmother, because when my dad was first born, right around the Depression, she and her husband were driving cross country on Route 66 and all those classic highways. So I would say, Grandma, I'm on this road now. And say, oh, I remember when your grandpa and I were doing that.
Aw,
wow.
that's sweet, though.
So are they just sightseeing? Or they weren't magicians?
No, they were, my great-grandfather was an entrepreneur. I guess it kind of runs in my family. And he kept coming up with new ideas for Coca-Colas. He wrote a letter to the head of the Coke business, Coca-Cola company, saying, you know, you ought to sell them instead of selling them in the big trays where you've got whatever 24 or 36 bottles, you should sell them in groups of 6 because it's something that you could carry. I don't know that he invented it, but it was certainly something at that time that became very popular.
Yeah.
And the thing that they were driving around selling was called an ICO. And an ICO was one of the original vending machines. And my great-grandfather was placing a bet on his unit that was going to sell better than the other competitors' units. You'd put a coin in the machine, you'd turn a big crank handle that would move the bottle through the ice, and then it would drop out through a dispenser. And he thought for sure that his machine was the best and it was going to keep selling. Of course, they had to sell them one at a time. That's why they were driving cross country. They'd go to the different bottling plants, try and sell it to the bottling plant. If they couldn't sell it to the bottling plant, they'd sell it to the gas station. And just before the Depression hit, they raised their prices because he thought he had a control of the market, and that really wiped him out. That was right when my dad was born.
Was this your dad's dad or your mom's dad?
My dad's dad, my dad's mother's father.
Okay. All right. I got it.
Okay.
All right. So since we last talked to you, you've been doing a bunch. I mean, you've had a lot of irons in the fire. You started the cabaret just recently, but you also bought the Magic Auction.
.com.
Tell me about that. Magicauction.com.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's like one word. Yeah, I was very fortunate when we had a good family relationship with the originators of Magicauction.com, and when he decided that they wanted to retire, they announced to everybody that they're going to auction off the name Magicauction.com. And I called him up and I said, hey, do you think we could work out a deal? And he said, well, it's the auction's already started, so I've always ran the auctions honestly, so I've got to continue the auction. I said, okay, I'll bid. And it got to the point where the seconds were counting down at the end, and I finally thought, I really want this. So I'm going to take the rent that I've allocated for the next 2 months at my office building, and let's risk it. And so I put in an enormous proxy bid for the name, and fortunately it was high enough that it scared off the other bidders, and I won, and I didn't have to pay all that money because they didn't push the bid up.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
I got it at a good, reasonable price, and not only did I purchase the website name, but I purchased the whole company, which was wonderful.
Wow. All right. So I don't know if you remember, but Wes Iseli, when it went public, Wes Iseli sent you an email. Was I the one that turned you on to it, or did you already have eyes on it?
You may have, yeah, you may have been yeah. You may have been the one.
All right.
Thank
All right.
you for all the nightmares that you've given me.
In my mind, I got you that. I helped you get it. I heard him. But he doesn't remember that part. So in my mind, I helped him get it, but he's like, he doesn't remember it.
Well, there's been so many hurdles to get over since that.
Yeah.
So tell us about it. I haven't been on the site. So what are you selling? Is it up? Is it running?
Gosh. It's doing great. We have traffic over 10,000 visitors a week now. I just checked and we're at 11,000 something per week. It's growing exponentially. I'm so happy. It's a fully interactive site now. So in the old Magicauction.com was written in HTML, the old, 25-year-old code. And it was rock solid, boy. It couldn't break that thing to save your life. But then again, it was also difficult to operate because it had to all be done manually. Every bid was entered manually by the programmer. So we changed that to true interactive bidding, and which meant we had to convert the entire site over to a new platform and find the right hosting for that platform and all this. Every bump that we hit, Clem Patafio, my partner on this, would work day and night to figure out what the heck happened now, and let's get this thing rolling. And finally, now it's doing really well. It's nice and solid. You place a bid. Your bid is entered automatically. You get a text message to tell you that if somebody bids against you. We have a thing called proxy bidding, which allows you to bid as high as you want for an item. Let's say the opening bid is $100, and you say, I really want that, so I'm going to put a proxy bid of $1,000 in. But it doesn't show anybody that you've got this enormous bid in. It only lists the $100. So somebody else comes along and says, oh yeah, I want to bid on it too. They bid $110. The proxy bid automatically through the computer system bumps it up to 120 so that you're back in the lead. And that goes all the way up to the hits your limit of 1,000. If somebody else bid 1,000, then the person who first bid the 1,000 with the proxy bid gets to have that position. And that's what I did to discourage other people's. Every time somebody would put a bid in against me to buy magicauction.com, it kept going up instantly. And now you can see it on live on the site. Before it was Joe entering it manually. That happens live. And then we also, as I mentioned, we have text messages that go out and advise you if you want about your bid. Otherwise, you get an email to tell you if somebody has outbid you. So you can go back and enter another bid. Then at the end, to prevent sniping, which is when somebody tries to sneak in and win a bid right at the very last second, which you used to be able to do with eBay.
Yeah.
They stopped that now by adding time. If you bid in the very last few minutes, that'll add a chunk of time to the end. I think ours is set for either 5 or 8 minutes for our international customers to be able to get the email. And then you continue bidding, and if the last bid comes in and it's too close, it extends it again. Anyway, it makes it fair. And we've removed the whole bidding by email option because that was not fair to have some people bid online and other people bidding with emails. It doesn't work.
Backroom deals going on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we really, and we're very active. We listen very closely to everybody we know in the business, then that write to us. We try not to sell any knockoff copy illusions. Same policy that Joe and Chris had with the original Magic Auction.
So is it illusions or is it everything?
Well, it's everything over $100 because the cost of doing business precludes us from taking in something that's under $100. I mean, honestly, we just couldn't make enough money on it to cover the cost of our time to do the listing and everything. So we have all kinds of props. We have
magic sticks.
We have magic sticks.
Nice.
Who's the wonderful avant-garde kind of punk magician that does the dove work?
Dan Sperry? Are you talking about Dan Sperry?
We have Dan Sperry's Vanishing Dove Cage on the site. We have Blaney levitations. We have all kinds of, we've got appearing helicopters. We've got everything on the site. It's amazing. All price ranges. Dollhouses, for $100, $200 that somebody built. And we list everything as in if it's located in the U.S. or if it's located outside, if it's a known builder, an unknown builder. So you can still kind of narrow it down. And we have a lot of categories so you can really find what you're looking for. We also have a search engine on the site.
Wow. Well,
and we have wanted ads. So if there's something that you're looking for, like recently somebody put up, they're looking for an original Owens canvas covered box or Abbott's canvas covered box, either way, complete with the canvas cover. So we have a whole section that's just for wanted ads. So you can browse that, and if you see something that you might have in your collection that you're thinking, hey, I'm not doing that anymore, why don't I call up Greg and let's sell it?
So is that what they do? They call you up and you list it, or is it done on the website like eBay? They do it from their home.
They do it from their home now. We have it all set up with a wonderful form. And if you go to the website, magicauction.com, no dash, just straight spelled out, magicauction.com. There's a how-to section. You click on the how-to and you can understand how to bid, that whole process that I kind of explained, or how to sell. First, you have to sign up, and then there's a whole downloadable form that you can look at so you can prepare your items to list. Then you go back in after you've logged in, and a new option appears to list my item. You click on that, and a digital form shows up, and you type in all the info about your prop, including if it's got a crate and the weights and the dimensions, and if it's wood or if it's ATA, and we're ready for all kinds of information. And then that's represented in the ad that's created after you've put that info in. Oh, and then you can upload up to 10 pictures, and if you have more, just let us know and we'll add them.
I'm looking at it now. This is pretty wild.
We put a lot of work into it, and there's a whole lot that hasn't been explored yet by the public. We have forums, how to write good copy for your ad, how to take good pictures. And then we've got forums of, like, you know, send your best wishes to Joe and Chris, your trippy magic stories. That's their name.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah. So all right, so you're not keeping it all there, so that's good. You don't have to keep it all there. Like,
I have to have my space for my studio.
That's what I'm saying. It must be doing great, because you said you had to take 2 months rent and try to just throw it at the auction to try to get that site. But now you have this brand new studio, so it must be a huge success, because you got 4 people working for you behind the scenes here. This great new studio, it's doing great. I think it looks like it's doing great.
It's a lot of fun. It's a labor of love still at this point, but we're really dedicated to it, and we're not going to let our customers down.
Now, this is something you and I haven't talked about, but I had the impression you were trying to get rid of some of your dad's stuff, right? Weren't you trying to, like, wean through some of it that he had doubles or triples of? Was that the reason that you wanted to have?
We did a lot of that in March. I had a big auction. I'd started my first auction company, MagicAuctionWarehouse.com, which was patterned after MagicAuction.com. And that was a live auction where we actually had a auctioneer come in and call the bids. And that was very difficult because COVID hit right after the auction, like the day or two after the auction closed. So people coming to try and pick up their props was a challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine. Golly. Wow. All right, but now you have
asking about El Capitan.
Yeah.
Unless you got something there in your list.
No, go for it. Tell me about the El Capitan. Go for it. Go for it.
So the El Capitan, I had never worked for Disney in that capacity before, but Johnny Ace Palmer, the close-up magician, had. And Johnny and I have been very good friends for a long time now. He's just been a wonderful soul. I don't know, do you know Johnny?
I know of him. I've never met him.
Well, you will be so happy when you do meet him, because he's a great guy. And he pitched me to Disney and walked me into the meeting and told me to get dressed in my costume to go to the pitch meeting, which I would not have done on my own accord. He said, remove all those things that they would have to think about or imagine you as, and just show them who you are. Okay. And I brought magic, and I brought a DVD with a bunch of magic illusions that I was pitching to them. And it went great. I was in one of those big production company meeting rooms that had the big office table, the big long conference room table with the big speakerphone in the middle, and old-fashioned, and the big video wall that I could play the video on to show them all. It was neat.
Wow. Wow.
And then they asked me in the meeting, they said, well, we want to be sure that you have John Gone props, because we want it to be a solid, there's no time to fix anything in between the shows. You're doing 4 or 5 shows a day. And so I said, yeah, of course, all my stuff is John Gone stuff, because it's all from my mom and dad. And they brought John Gone into Los Angeles when he was a teenager. So
nice.
I would say,
they knew John Gone from the illusions that your dad brought to Disney originally.
That, and then John has done quite a bit of work with Disney directly since then.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He created a whole Aladdin show that was installed at Disneyland, and of course he did stuff for Disney World and Imagineers and stuff.
Wow.
Wow.
That's neat.
Yeah, I want to get him on here someday because that dude, yeah, I'm a big fan of his as well.
Oh, I will introduce you.
Please, please.
My uncle.
So that show, you said you did 5 a day, but it was the show, then the movie, then your show, then a movie.
Exactly.
So you said they swept up the popcorn and you did another show. That was it. There was no extra time there.
No turnaround time. And we did a 20-minute show. It had to be exactly 20 minutes because the movie times are posted. So the movie's got to start on time. So then you back time up 20 minutes and I get introduced. Right? So the audience comes early, gets their popcorn, sits down. Then the pre-show starts, the live pre-show, which is the same thing that like Harry Blackstone Sr. did when my dad was young. And my dad would go down to the Majestic Theater in downtown Dallas and with Walter Blaney as kids, Walter Zany Blaney, and they would go to Douglas Magicland beforehand and spend their allowance. Each one would buy one trick. Then they'd go watch Harry Blackstone Sr., because Jr. was, I don't even know if he was born yet.
Wow.
They would, during the movie, they would go to the lobby and sit on the floor and learn their tricks. And then they'd go back and watch Harry and then come back to the lobby and trade tricks and learn each other's tricks.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome. That's
Thank you.
awesome. Golly. But you were telling me about, in our pre-conversation, you were telling me about the stage, how it was so tight in that room, though, at the,
So somebody recently asked me, where was your favorite place to perform? And I have to say it was the El Capitan, between that and Knott's Berry Farm, because they have the best dressing rooms ever.
Oh, nice.
And I could move in because we were staying there for a long run. So it was great. So you get to go to the dressing room. I got to decorate it. And I really made it my own place. I brought a refrigerator in and everything.
Wow. Wow.
And the stage was phenomenal. Of course, it's one of those classic, I guess it was late 20s. Sid Grauman designed Grauman's Chinese Theater, Grauman's Egyptian, and Grauman's El Capitan, which was the Spanish-themed one. And it was all set with all kinds of dressing rooms, upstairs, downstairs, in the stairwells, had a whole underground, and quite a few things that were really good for magic shows.
Uh-huh.
The second show that I did there. You want to see a clip?
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
That'd be great.
So let's see if I can make this work. I did the train on the very first show, The Mysteries of Magic. We did the train illusion, and what is this? Okay, there's that. Now let's make this full screen, and then, how do I screen share if I'm full screen? Safari, no. Zoom. Zoom. Share screen. Okay, it should look pretty dark. Oh. Remind me later. Okay, share screen. Room code or meeting ID? Uh-oh.
That's a 717 number.
Is it? Okay. I've got it here. Sorry, folks.
Oh, you're good.
We had this working before.
I know, right? Hey, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves if everything went smoothly, so it's cool.
Right.
We haven't lost electricity. It started storming real hard lightning. Natalie said, "Did you see that?" I said, "No." 3, 2, 1. And then the whole room shook. We haven't lost power yet, though. We're good.
Okay, there's the phone number. It's meeting code. And go back to Zoom.
Greg's doing all this fancy stuff over here.
I know, right?
Where's Clem? It's Clem's fault. It's not ready. It's Clem's fault.
That's okay. Clem and I are both married. We know it's our fault. Unable to join the meeting. Well, so much.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll try to figure something out. Hey, while she's making sure you're good on this end, tell me about the stage, because you said the stage was weirdly shaped.
He's in there. Hold on. So let me come on.
Yeah, I'm in the meeting. I don't know why it.
You said the stage was weirdly shaped. Tell me that story when you guys are working.
Had a thrust for the where the organ would come up and down. Hi, Natalie. I see on the little screen there. So the organ had a pit. It had a beautiful. Clem, could you? Can I dump this off onto you, and maybe you can try it, ladies and gentlemen. Clem.
Is Clem on screen? Where's Clem at? Clem, you're awesome, Clem.
Here's Clem. You're going to see if you can get that to screen share. I know it's a Mac and you're a PC. So, ha.
I like Clem's haircut. He's my buddy.
Yeah. Okay,
but anyway.
So Clem has some privacy. Yeah, so the organ would go down and that would leave us with a thrust stage. And one of the big things, the reason I wanted to show you this video clip is that in order to get the contract, they asked me if I could do the train illusion, which I'd never done before on my own. I've always performed it with Mom and Dad. And it was the second train that was built, which was labeled Nani's train. So it was Mom's prop. And she would not allow anybody else to get into the train to be cut in half except Nani, of course. But when they asked me in the big corporate meeting that I was telling you about, I of course said, yes, I can do it. And then I had to come home and ask Mom, hey, can I borrow the train, please? If I can borrow it, I can go work for Disney down on Hollywood Boulevard, across from the Magic Castle.
Wow.
Very kind, and she said yes.
Aww.
Did she approve your assistant, or was it just, okay, I trust you?
That's very interesting. So the hiring of the assistants was all done with Disney's guidance. Now, I was the employer of record. And so I was responsible for everything that went to do with the show, the content of the show. But Disney, as the executive producers, had to ride over who was in the show. And so they wanted everybody to have a Disney smile. They wanted a broad spectrum of performers. And so that was great. And so we actually brought the train illusion down to the auditions at the Wixom, which Wixom is a Disney facility that's a mock-up. It's the exact same size as the El Capitan stage. They have a huge production facility there when they used to make all their own shows for that theater.
Oh, wow.
It was really impressive. So after we had the dance audition and we narrowed it down to the people that had the best smiles and the best choreography skills and everything right, then they had to get in the prop. And if they didn't fit in the prop, I'm sorry. Doesn't matter how good you are.
Right.
So did you have Disney training? Did they take you aside and say everything's great, but you have to smile bigger, you have to do this? Was anybody on top of you as well?
Every rehearsal had to be at full out 100% performance. There was no mocking. There was no, just rough it through this time. Every show had to be full out. Every rehearsal. And it was good training because it gets your energy up. Oh, hey, look at that. There's an image that looks like it's going to be screen share.
It's good training, but it's hard. It's difficult to do it that way, full, because you play off the audience and you wait for applause and you have weights. It's really hard to be 100% when you're.
That's true.
And
there I am. Hi. So yes, it is hard, but then you learn how to do it without the audience because they say it has to be the same performance if there's one person in the audience or it's a full house with 1,000 people. And
yeah,
that's what happened. You get towards the end of the run and there's one person sitting in the audience.
But you also had parts where you were borrowing people from the audience. So was there someone to practice that part with, or did you have to just go through the motion?
I would mime that because I knew the routine so well. That one I wasn't worried about. Let's see if I can get to show you now. Mysteries of Magic, El Capitan, Hollywood. .mov. This is going to be, can you hear?
There you go, Nat. Can't hear anything. Just hear you.
Okay, so there we go. There's the big book. That curtain behind me is Doug Henning's curtain from one of his Broadway touring shows. It's a beautiful cream curtain. I think I can turn the audio on if I go. That's not it. It's all to the beats of the music, of course.
Now, this is the Oz show?
This is the first show. Ta-da! That was pretty fast, wasn't it?
Wow, that was very fast.
Okay, so I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to see if I can get the audio to turn on. Where's my...
So for the listeners at home, I think Harry Blackstone had the Book of Life, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a big book on stage that he opens the front door, opens the back door, shows it completely empty. The assistant walks through, shuts the doors, opens the front door, and boom, Greg is there filling up that space. What a beautiful trick.
And with my arms, not just my belly.
Oh.
Where's the audio selection? Here we go. There's this. Unmute. Maybe that'll do it. Allow to share screen. Okay. And now unmute. No. Well. All right.
Where is Clem? We need Clem.
Yeah. I apologize, but let's.
We're going to call this episode "The Magic of Greg Wilson and Clem."
It's just not letting me share entire screen. Yes. Oh, there we go. Okay, maybe now I can turn it off. Okay. Oh, now you're going to hear me through this microphone too. Maybe not. You don't hear this, do you?
No. But it's a beautiful high quality video.
Thank you. Okay, so then let's do this. I'm going to zoom you down to, there's the interactive stuff with the kids. I'm doing the 20th century silk routine that my dad perfected over the years, and I learned because I watched him do it every day. So the train was really fun. So I had, oops, we were right there. I don't know if you can see behind me with the kids, there's it looks like kind of a city street light and a bush and a building.
Yeah.
That's a scrim. And it's a a scrim is a piece of scenic fabric that you can paint. And if you light it from the front, you can see the image that's painted. And if you light it from the back, you can see right through it. It becomes transparent. And you can see that there's kind of a swirl. You can almost see a rainbow swirl coming through, washing through the background images there. You see that?
Yeah.
So that was a Doug Henning drop also. But we got at Doug's auction when he was selling off all his stuff before he moved to Vedaland. And it's beautiful. If you light that scrim with a black light, you get a third effect out of it, which is this trippy, swirling rainbow. It's very neat.
Wow.
So that flew in, and we preset the train behind it, which gave me a chance now to introduce the big illusion that my parents made famous, blah, 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 the Alakazam Railroad. And I turn around, now you can see they got the black light on, they've got some other lights in the front, and then they bring up the back light, and you can see right through it, and there's the train. Now here comes the part that I was telling you about where we had to overcome that little ramp that took you up onto a thrust. That's the thrust that had the organ underneath down here. And the audience, as you can imagine, they're sitting all the way around on the side. So right at this moment, you can see I got the guys helping me out a lot there. For the magicians in the audience, they understand.
Yeah.
And I also have a balcony, which we had not taken into account. That the balcony angle was really steep and made things difficult magically. Also, especially the next year when I did the crossover panels, we had to make them extra tall. Anyway, there's one. Blade goes in, just like Mom and Dad. Okay. That's Marlon and Casey. They both had helped me out with other shows, and fortunately they had the right smile and Disney approved. And you can see on the train it says 222 and Mom's name Nani. That's because it's the second train. Oh, it helps if I get the blade in the right slot. And the choreography was very carefully planned out by my friend Doug Johnson, who did a wonderful job. He's been directing my shows for a long time. And he really knew how to make everybody look their best. And all those clever little things you learn over the years about how do you turn an illusion and how do you not block the performers' heads or their feet and all those things. And how do you not trap her hair as she rolls from one to the next. And there we go, cut in half just like Mom. And I got to stand where Dad would stand. Ta-da!
Wow.
That's awesome.
There we go. You know the end of that trick. She gets back together.
Now, was that built by John Gunn?
Yes. Oh, that's a very famous John Gunn prop. Then I did Silk to Egg. And everything had to be done to time because the whole show was run in one move. Now, here's my favorite. This is the Azra. And it might be hard to see. The Azra table is way upstage. We had a lighting director who was absolutely amazing. They brought in the lighting director. For 2 years, I had the same guy who did World of Color, the giant water-themed show that they do at California Adventure. So he was way overqualified to light a stage show. And he did just a phenomenal job. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's kind of dark. You can't really see. We're covering her with the cloth. And it was for Maleficent, so everything was purple and green. Oh no, sorry, this is not Maleficent. This is Oz. So we still had the green for Oz. You can kind of see there's some green in the background back here behind me. The whole back curtain behind me is lit green.
Mm.
And then, I wish you could see this better. My favorite part is coming up. Walking fully behind her, waving my hands fully over the top of her. And then she goes back up. There's that little, you can see my shirt in the darkness there. Can you see any of that?
Yeah, I see it levitating. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, she's going up. She's going up. Here comes my favorite part. I'm not going to touch it. I just have to trust. Boom, boom, gone.
Wow.
And then, va-voom, she's up in the balcony seat. Oh, there we go. Okay, you can kind of see her over there.
Wow. That's my problem. I've shrunk, Greg. I'm only 5'4" now. So so the lady levitating off the ground and reaching up to grab the silk, how impressive is it? Because she's not that high off the ground when I reach up. But you solved that problem. She was like 12 feet in the air when the silk just vanished. That's awesome.
I actually, that I learned from Harry Jr.
I don't think I've seen that before. I always thought they had to reach up and grab it.
And the secret of making her vanish like that became a competition between, okay, you can switch out of this. Oh, I have to turn off the screen sharing, huh? How do I do that now? Close this, come over here, stop share, and back to you.
Yay.
Okay, so reaching up and grabbing it, I thought is how you had to do it. I didn't know this was an option. That looked beautifully amazing.
Yeah.
So how was that a competition? Competition among who?
The floating assistant.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Got it.
Which I got to be one time for Harry Jr. with the light bulb. And what a treasured moment that was.
Wow. Wow.
I was a secret person in the off stage and helped
was that in LA?
No, where was that? Not in LA. We were on the road. There was nobody else. Gay came to me and said, "Greg, could you help us out?" And I said, "Of course, I'd be happy to." So afterwards, I went to their dressing room. We're sitting in the dressing room. Another cherished moment of being fortunate enough to be my father's and mother's child and have that recognition from the other performers that I could go sit in Harry's dressing room as he's stripping down to his underwear. I said, Harry, let me step outside for a moment. He says, no, it's fine. And I see he's wearing this thing, this like girdle. And I said, Harry, what is this that you're wearing? He said, that's my truss. I said, truss, really? He said, you're an illusionist, right? I said, yeah. He said, you'll be wearing one.
Well, I think everybody's worn one at some point if they do illusions. So
Some kind of back brace, yeah.
wow. So you've been on Fool Us twice. Have you ever done Masters of Illusion?
Yes, I did Masters of Illusion when it was first on, the first couple years, right when the World Magic Awards or whatever those were called,
Yeah.
were first starting, and Harry was the host. Yeah.
Was that always owned by Gabe Blackstone, or did she take over for someone else?
And she's a producer that works with the production company that makes those shows.
Okay, so it's always been her producing it, though.
Pretty much, yeah. I think she was involved even when Harry was still around. I don't know that she was as heavily involved then.
Because I have DVDs of the original run, the first couple seasons or whatever, and the new ones seem way different than the old ones. So that's why I was wondering.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And it used to be on YouTube, and I had mine marked there, and then it went away. So I'll have to talk to you, see if we can find my episode if you've got them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look. I'll see.
Card trick.
So, how about your Fool Us appearances? Tell me about that.
Johnny Thompson called me. I'm not name dropping. These are just people I know.
So, you know everybody.
It helps for magicauction.com.
I bet it does. I bet it does.
I know the builders, and I understand what's involved when you're touring a show and how it sucks when the prop breaks just before the show goes on. And I get it, and I know what the pains are for the performer, and I know what the pains are for the person that now needs to get rid of the prop because the show's done and we got new bills to pay.
And we need room.
Yeah. Oh, you need room. Dad used to say, well, that money's gone now. Time to do another show.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were just asking about...
your Fool Us run, Johnny Thompson.
So Johnny Thompson calls and he says, can you do Excalibur? And I said, yeah, I could, but that takes a lot of staff. I mean, I have to have all these assistants, and it's big, and can I just do the billiard balls or, something else? I know I won't fool him, but he said, no, I want you to do Excalibur like you did where you switch places with your dad at the end. And I said, oh, well, Dad's 80-something years old now. Would it be okay if it wasn't him? And Johnny said, that's fine. And so that whole presentation of Excalibur is not the original presentation. The original Excalibur is the clear trunk with the swords. So initially you put the female assistant inside and put the swords around, and she's trapped, and you can see that there's nowhere she can go, and then you bring a tent over it and cover it, and the magician goes inside and counts 1, 2, and the girl says 3 through a little hole and whips the tent open, and the tent pulls back, and you see the magician is now trapped inside, and everybody pulls the swords out, and the magician stands up, ta-da, end of trick. In 1989, I was graduating from college. I had quit doing magic to be a filmmaker. I had no interest in going through all the pains of being a touring magician and all that. I just wanted to go make movies. I wanted to be J.J. Abrams, who didn't exist yet. And Dad said, could you come do this show with us in Japan? We really need you. Because Lance Burton had given Dad the idea of, Dad was getting to be a little old. He didn't want to deal with putting the swords in the trunk. So he said, Greg, why don't you put the swords in the trunk? We'll bring the tent out, cover the trunk up. You go in, count 1, 2. They pull the tent back. The girl says 3. They look inside the box. It looks like you, Greg, because I'll wear a matching costume. And I wore a completely different costume than my dad was wearing. I wore this white shirt with all these, 90s design. And then I would do the runaround to the back of this arena and climb up one of the lighting trusses and reappear after Dad stepped out of the box. So I had all the time from when I vanished, they didn't know I'd vanished, to the swords coming out, which was not very long, to get up on this elevated thing. So it's a good thing I was young.
Wow.
That was the beginning of it. So that's what Johnny Thompson was thinking about. And I said, well, okay, we'll do something similar to that, but I'm sorry, I won't be able to produce Mom and Dad, or Dad. Then I thought, oh, this is the perfect opportunity for me to get Mom and Dad on TV. How am I going to do it? So we set up the trunk. We said, Dad, can you climb in? He he tried really hard. It was too much. And so I got a nurse to come with us to make sure they were going to be fine. So I didn't have to worry about them. I could focus on my show. And we got wheelchairs for Mom and Dad in Vegas so that they didn't have to walk those long walks, from the hotel room down to the theater. Even though we were staying in the Rio and they were shooting it at the Penn and Teller Theater at the Rio, it's a hike.
Or from your elevator to your room. It could be a mile.
Yeah. And it's a game show, right? This is a competition. And so it fell under game show rules, which is different than just shooting a TV show. So I was kept separate from Penn and Teller. Of course, Mom and Dad were kept separate. My whole cast, everybody was housed in the basement when Penn and Teller arrived to go to their dressing room. And then they snuck us up and had everybody hide. And I was the very first performer of the very first episode shot at the Rio in season 2. It didn't air first, but it was the first one they shot because I used the whole stage for the Excalibur presentation, and everybody after that was doing smaller stuff. So I'm standing there waiting with the cast behind me and Mom and Dad in the wheelchairs just a few feet back behind that, and out walks Penn Jillette, who's way up here, and Teller, who's right with me. And the cast realized they're going to see Mom and Dad, so they moved in and blocked Mom and Dad, which is great. And so Penn and Teller didn't see them. They went out. We started the whole thing. Instead of producing them in the box, when I reappeared in the audience, we closed the tent cover and made my parents appear inside the tent, just standing there, which is great. So the nurse was with them backstage. They got out of their wheelchairs. They snuck into position secretly, and they stood for that whole segment. It was wonderful.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
awesome.
I love it.
What was your second appearance? I know of that one. That's viral. That's got to have millions of views online. What was the second one?
The second one was the train illusion. So I had rented other props to Penn and Teller for them to use in their closing segments. They did the Girl Through Glass with Moxie on one of the episodes. That was our prop. I couldn't get up there for the taping, but when I pitched the train illusion to them, I said, well, my mom and dad have restricted who can perform this illusion. And they said, before Dad passed away, he said the only other magicians that we would appreciate seeing doing this would be Penn and Teller, because they were so successful with the series. So I said, the only prerequisite is that I'm on camera with you and the prop, and if possible, we'll put my niece, Shawn, the granddaughter, in the train. And they agreed, and so we had an all-Wilson cast doing all the other part of the work.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I did a posting after that was on. I said that Mom got the best Christmas present ever. She got to see her favorite magic prop on TV.
Wow. That wasn't a Christmas episode, though, was it?
It wasn't designed. It was kind of designed to be in that season, because they talked about if you happen to be at your friend's house for a Christmas party, try to use something that you find around the house, like this train.
Got it. Yeah. Why not? Train around the tree.
Right.
Golly. So, hey, I got a couple questions for you that has nothing to do with any of that. I have people asking me all the time, because I'd have the Patreon, and I have a Ask Me Anything. And one of the questions I get from a lot of my guys is, how do you deal with burnout? We think magic 24 hours a day. What is your burnout cure?
That's a really good question.
I get it a lot. I've answered it sometimes, and I've tried to come up with different spins, but I keep getting it.
I guess I look for new inspiration then. When I'm burnt out from doing the chore of the work, then it's time to go play and get inspiration. And one of the favorite places for my wife and I is Disneyland or Disney World or Tokyo Disneyland.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. When I have friends come over to hang out in the magic room, I tell my wife we're going to go play because that's what it is. We're picking up props and coming up with ideas and brainstorming, but I consider it play.
Right. It's not the pressure of, oh, I've got to make something new for the show next week, or I've got to promote the client's product or something.
Right. Yeah. We're just playing. Here's another one for you. Everybody loves disaster stories. Now, this could be your parents' disaster story or your disaster story, but I know you're a professional, but I know things happen. Do you have a disaster story you could share with us?
Bob, you got a suggestion for me? I was thinking of Okinawa, but that's kind of a technical disaster. We were doing a show in Okinawa, and during rehearsal, one of the dancers lifted up one of the props the wrong way, and the secret fell out and broke.
Oh no!
And it was critical because it was the lid, and plexiglass. So that was pretty horrible.
How long did you have to fix it?
We had a very creative solution because it was clear. We just took the broken pieces out and pretended that it had a lid.
It's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear. That side over there is very clean.
It's much easier.
There's always something that happens, man. I don't care how great you are.
I got so many shows with the time we were performing in China, and the stage, we sent out a tech writer, and you hope, at least in the States, that they read the tech writer. I'm going to have 1,000 pounds of equipment, a motorcycle in a cage. It's very heavy. All that weight's going to be centered on 4 wheels. So we took that, not thinking about what the wheels are made of. When we did an ice rink for a hockey game, apparently whatever kind of plastic was used interacted with the ice and melted it instantly. It was a chemical reaction. So we left a path of 4 lines that snaked around onto the middle of the ice hockey rink during halftime. I made a motorcycle appear. No, it was a motorcycle cage, but I made the mascot, the new mascot, and all the cheerleaders appear inside the cage because it had a lot of space. But that made it very heavy. And
wow. I've never heard of a chemical reaction with plastic and ice.
No. Did they have to postpone the second half so they could refreeze it?
They had to bring out the Zamboni machine and run it around a lot.
Oh, man.
But that same prop now in China, we wheeled it out, and the stage was too old. The wood in the stage just gave up, and we actually punched holes in the stage as we're trying to wheel the prop out.
Oh, no.
There was another venue in China that was a roller skating rink. And I'll end on this one. This will be the big one. So we're doing 17 different cities, all kinds of venues. And we're up in northern Sichuan province. I think this was Chengdu. Yeah, Chongqing had the real theater. Chengdu had the roller rink. As we drive up, this is the only time it happened on the whole trip, there was really the old Chinese man with the long white beard, wearing the old clothes, smoking opium outside the theater. He had the long pipe with the little opium bin at the end. It was trippy. Like, my God, this is like a scene from a movie. And we go in, and we're like, what is this smell? It just reeks of urine. And then Hugo Way, I don't know if any of you know Hugo, but we loved him very much, and he was a wonderful part of the whole project, and he did everything for me, but he could read the signs. And the signs said, no using the bathrooms in your roller skates. So instead of people taking their roller skates off to go to the bathroom, they'd pee in the hallway.
Oh.
So all the hallways and the stairwells reeked of urine, and they had no dressing rooms. There was like a big team dressing room that we used, but then to have something that was near the stage, we ended up using a stairwell, and it was just horrible. And they had no lights, they had no curtains, there was nothing in this roller skating rink that was a theater. So as we walked in and we're starting to load in all the crates, they're hanging real hemp rope, hand-twisted hemp rope from where the ceiling tiles were. They were going up to the I-beams in the structure of the building. So there's these asbestos ceiling tiles falling all over the stage, all over the roller skating rink, and breaking. And we're like, oh, okay, we're going to go to the backstage, even though it stinks. And they were hanging these ropes, and then they tie a bamboo pole to the rope and use that to lift our curtains up, because we trooped our own curtains and show. And so we didn't really have a traveler. We just kind of had wings and a backdrop. And then they did the same for the lights. And they would have a bamboo pole that they would put the lights on. They just hang the lights on it and string the electricity, and then they hoist this thing up. They finally get it up, and they come out with a ladder, because now they have to focus the lights. But this is a trapeze that's hanging from the I-beams way up high. So they're reinforcing with guys on one side of the ladder like it's a Chinese acrobat show, and the ladder's going up, and the person climbs up the ladder as the rest of the team is trying to hold it upright so that they can get, because they can't lean on the bamboo pole because it'll just
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
You never know where this is going to go when you ask for a disaster story.
Right?
It's always crazy. It's
No
always
kidding.
wow. All right, so we're getting close to the end here. I want to know about the Secret Cabaret, because we're running out of time. That's your newest project you have going on.
Yes. We had this warehouse space, and I really wanted to use it for a theater. And I was able to convince the landlord to allow me to add the caveat that I could use it as an internet studio. And so we've created a studio space here. We have we have 7 cameras now. We have one camera that's dedicated for an overhead shot for close-up. We have a special area over here for close-up performing. This is the main stage. Let me see if I can show you more of the main stage. That would be zooming in. This is zooming out. I don't do this in the show. There we go.
Nice.
This is the original Alakazam curtain behind me. It's the one that Mom and Dad used in the 1960s show.
Wow.
This was the table he used for the infomercial. Did we freeze?
No, you're there.
These curtains were from another show they had called The Haunted Theater. This was a version of The Haunted Theater that didn't have a decayed ancient main curtain. I loaned these out to another touring show, and when it came back, I had all the other dressings except only half of the main.
Oh no.
And this is an opera house. I mean, it's a 60-foot wide proscenium main curtain. It's really designed to play performing arts centers.
Yeah.
And so we ended up taking the one side that we still had and slicing it right down the middle so that I could have two ends that were clean. So the other ends are cut.
Wow. All right, so the Secret Cabaret, are you doing it weekly now, or is it monthly?
Every 2 weeks. Yes. So if you look at the last Saturday of the month, that's our last show of the month, and then you go back 2 Saturdays from that, because sometimes there's more than 4 Saturdays in a month. So,
and that's
this coming 30th. And to sign up for it, you go to secret-cabaret.com. You'll put the little code up there for me.
Yeah, man.
Secret-cabaret.com. You can sign up there for either watching a Zoom watching it just stream, and you don't have to have anything. You just click on the button and it streams right to your phone or to whatever. It's really, really simple. Or you can, if you're in LA, sign up to come see it live. And if we have space, we'd love to have you.
Nice.
So how do you know if you have a ticket space? If you sign up?
You sign up, and then I send out an email announcing each week's show. On that email, it says, do you want to watch online? Do you want to watch with Zoom and interact, or do you want to see it in person? So you click one of those boxes, and it's a first come, first serve for watching it live. And then we review that, and I send out the invites and say, great, we got plenty of space. We'd love to have you. Here's the address. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone.
So how much does it cost?
Right now, we are not charging for the live shows and for the watching the streaming. The live streaming, we're going to keep that free. And we're building, thank you to you teaching me about Patreon and how to create these kind of club memberships. I'm building a tiered membership where you can join to watch past episodes. That would be very little. You can join with the opportunity to have 2 tickets a month. And that means you could either come to one show with a friend, or you could come yourself to both shows that month, or buy a second membership.
That's
Nice.
awesome. That's great. I like it that you're on Patreon because of me. I love it. Patreon's a great place.
A lot.
The Patreon is so good to me. It's so awesome. I recommend it.
I'm still in the process of setting that up, because I'm taking the old Alakazam Archives version and converting it over to the Secret Cabaret.
Nice.
So do you have a Patreon account now, or are you going to set that up soon?
I do. I have an old Patreon account that we set up a long time ago for the Alakazam Archives.
All right. So what is that? Send us the link. So
It'll all be through the secret-cabaret.com. That's it. That's all you have to know.
Get there through that.
Yep.
Perfect. So magicauction.com. You also said Magic Auction Warehouse. Is that a .com as well?
Yes. Magic Auction Warehouse is the next new project that we're working on, which is live auctions for large collections. So kind of like Potter and Potter does. So we take, let's see if I can move this. There we go, a little better. We take a collection of things like my folks. Perhaps we're going to sell the New York World's Fair memorabilia, everything that was involved with the show that Mom and Dad did at the New York World's Fair. And we'll create a catalog and do it once a month and have a live auction that I call from here in our Secret Cabaret, and do it online, which is a different format than magicauction.com. Magicauction.com is like eBay.
Yeah.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
Potter and Potter.
Before we wrap everything up, I don't get to talk to my friends out in LA that often, but I'm in Virginia, and I hear that LA, according to the political campaigns, is just, it's crazy out there. Is it as bad as they say in the media? How is LA right now?
I hide. I stay here at the Secret Cabaret and play with magic.
There you go. All right. Well, that answers that. Yeah. And Virginia, we're hearing stuff that LA is just, it's crazy. You can't go down and see Mann's Chinese Theater anymore because it's so crazy.
Oh, that's just like the weather saying that, everybody's going to die in the storm.
Perfect. Yeah.
Like
Well, we live near Charlottesville. So when we went to Cancun, they were like, was it really that bad during the Charlottesville stuff? No. That was one street, 1 hour during the day, but it stayed on the news for months. So yeah, I get it.
It's sensationalized. Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Dude, you are the best. I love you, man. Secretcabaret.com, magicauction.com. Find his Patreon for the extra Secret Cabaret stuff, which I'll be joining because I was just telling you that Saturday night sometimes doesn't work for me. So how do I watch past stuff? Patreon. Mm-hmm. I got it.
It's Secret-Cabaret.
Secret-cabaret.com.
Got to make sure you get
magicauction.com. And soon, magicauctionwarehouse.com.
The home for all of our projects, because we have other stores and stuff, is wilsonentertainmentgroup.com. It's
nice.
All those words all spelled out.
Perfect.
You're the best. Thank you for doing this today. Sorry about all the technical difficulties on our end. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. He's got a whole crew over there.
Yeah.
You had some technical difficulties too. It wasn't
yeah.
all me, but it was. But I apologize. And I love you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being on. I think the only thing we have left to say is, see you next week.
Happy magic.
Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled Wesiseli.